What's up, guys? Average Kiwi Guy here. How y'all doing? So obviously, Defenders has dropped in the pretty much like past hour or so. It's pretty recent. I'm watching it as we're going, so I'll watch an episode. I'll do a review as we go there. So hopefully, I'll get them all done within the next couple of days. So that'll be nice. It's only 8, so it shouldn't take me too long. And I figured I'd do a review after each one, and because I'm super excited. Defenders, I really am, because I love the other 4 shows, and the fact that Marvel's doing the usual thing where they link everything together, I like it. I think it's great. So I've been super excited for this. So episode 1, which was called the H word, which none of them like to be called. All of them hate to be called heroes, except maybe Luke. I think Luke doesn't mind it. Pretty much what you think a first episode would be. It's sort of, where are they? What have they been up to? What kind of problems are they gonna have? Kind of have to get over through this series, all that sort of stuff, right? And for this episode, they pretty much none of them actually met each other yet. So we're still getting to that point where they're gonna eventually all come to a head, all come and meet together and create the Defenders sort of thing. So that's going to be interesting. I would say it was a good episode. I wouldn't say it was a great one. At first episodes, you're either going to have like this just epic one, or it's going to be, just a catch-up thing. And this was more of a catch-up thing. And kind of solidifying who the bad guy is. That was really it. So basically, first up, we got to see Danny. Danny, kind of, because of his failure with Kunlun sort of thing, he's on the hunt for all these, all the hands, trying to find out where they all are. And they're after this guy. And basically, he meets Elektra. He goes face to face with Elektra. And Elektra handles him pretty well. She handles him pretty well. Like, it sets Elektra's power level quite high, which I think is great, because we all knew Elektra was coming back, and we've seen her in the trailers and stuff. We don't know like how she's going to interact with all the others, but to see her going up against Danny Rand right off the bat was a nice start. It was a real good start. And, really, she forced Danny to use his Iron Fist. So that shows like where she is on the power scale, where she is, like what she can handle, and we don't even know if that's at her full ability yet. So that's pretty good. So I like that, that sort of as a first scene to set where Elektra's power level is. That was really good. That was really fantastic. I mean, for Danny, for this episode, it was all about, you're starting to see like he's got a lot of sort of guilt in him, because he did abandon Kunlun. He did, abandon his post. He was meant to be at the entrance of Kunlun to defend them against the hand, so the hand would never get in. He failed that. He's failed his mission, other than obviously what he did to come back, go back to New York and stuff. So he's dealing with all that guilt. He has a very interesting dream, where you see all the monks all cut up and stuff, and himself talking to him, sort of like the Iron Fist talking to Danny, and then you failed at your task, and you failed at your mission. These people that took you in and saved your life, you failed them. That sort of stuff. And it's interesting that he's even got a cut right across his Iron Fist tattoo on his chest too, which looked a bit weird. It was like too obvious. It was too kind of perfectly placed, but it was alright. It was okay. Colleen still with him. I loved Colleen in Iron Fist. I think she was. I really liked her. So that was a good. Nice to see her still there and stuff like that. And be interesting to see how their relationship goes through all this. She's trying to get him to talk about it. Not happening. It ain't happening. So it'll be interesting to see how he goes. They finally get back to New York, and obviously at the end of the episode, a lot of stuff happens. So that was, everyone's coming back together. That's really what this episode was about, was getting everyone back into New York. So, then obviously we got to see Luke. Luke kind of swaggering, being, kind of a badass coming out of jail. Has this bit of an awesome scene where, he's getting released and the warden's kind of giving him a hard time, and the officer can't get his handcuffs off, so Luke's like, hell with this. Snaps him, breaks him off his hands, crushes them together and drops them in the warden's hand and sort of like pieces out. He's like, yeah, bye. Later, I love that. That was great. I loved that. It was kind of what I think a lot of people love about Luke Cage. It's that swagger, It's that swagger. It's that, that confidence, the bulletproof confidence in himself and stuff. So that was cool. I love that. And yeah, Luke pretty much, gets back to Harlem. He meets up with Claire and they instantly bang. There was very little like, oh, hey, how are you? How's life? How's everything happening? It was just like, hi, straight back to the house, bang. They've waited a long time. So, there were a lot of pent up needs there, I guess we could say. So I get that. So there you go. And yeah, so for him, it's sort of him coming back to Harlem, seeing, what's going on. Like, Mariah's still doing her thing. Like, she's still there. She's still, sort of trying to twist Harlem into what she wants. So, he really wants to go after her. But Misty sort of comes around and says, like, hey, there's something else happening here. With these young guys getting these jobs, getting a lot of money, getting their families out, but then they end up dead. So they think they're being couriers for someone quite powerful, and they don't think it's Mariah. So that's going to be interesting. Probably the Hand. It's pretty obviously the Hand, but it's kind of interesting to see how she's trying to tell him what's going on, but try and keep him out of it as well. She's like, he wants to get in it. He's like, look, I ain't got anything holding me back now. I don't have a past. I don't have to worry about going to jail. I want to get in and help. Let's go. Let's go. I'm bulletproof. Let's go. And she's like, whoa, let me handle this. Let the police handle this. You should go and help this young guy who's lost his brother and his sister, who was the girl that was gonna just testify against Mariah, but Mariah had her killed. That was, it's her little brother or something like that. He's in a bit of trouble as well. So that was what Luke got sort of sent to do, and that pretty much puts him straight into what's going on as well. So all of this was sort of like setting in motion them, coming back, going after the bad guy sort of thing. Like each of them getting leads that are eventually gonna meet back up. So that was cool. Matt, Daredevil, probably him and Luke are my two favorites. That by far my two favorites. Matt, basically, he's in a struggle right now. So he's put the mask away. He's put it down. He's like, no, I'm not gonna be Daredevil anymore. I'm done. I'm just going to be Matt. I'm just going to be a lawyer. I'm going to help people that way. And you can see through this entire episode him struggling with like, man, I really want to go, pull on that mask and go and help people again. But I know I shouldn't because, I need to have faith that the police can do it and that I don't need to do that sort of stuff anymore and I'm not that person anymore. And it kind of, all goes through that and sort of him trying to, I don't know, just deal with that. He even goes to the church and even, he sort of says, my soul wants to do, go and be Daredevil, but my head telling me like, no, you need to not do that. The people around you are getting hurt because of it. So yeah, he's definitely conflicted. He even, like the priest even says like, do you think that Elektra has anything to do with this? Like the person who walked in that life with you. And, you can still see that, Matt's got a lot of feelings for Elektra. You know, he's sort of like that love of your life sort of thing. And, you know, he knows she's gone, but obviously she's not. So that's setting it up quite nicely for him to have, like, it's going to be quite an interesting reunion when Elektra and him reunite. So that was pretty cool. And yeah, basically it was that and him just being a badass lawyer and winning this family $11 million for this business guy being a douchebag, essentially. And it was good. It was cool to see. And he also got to meet up with Karen as well. And those two sort of figuring each other out as well. So I kind of hope that they still stick with just the Elektra stuff. I don't really... Like, Karen's a nice side character. But I think as a, you know, a romantic interest, I think Elektra should probably be the main one still, you know? And then I guess that leaves Jessica Jones, who pretty much has not moved on at all from the show. At all. Like, it's like time is frozen for her. The office still the same. She's still the same. She's still wearing the same clothes. She's still like everything. It's all the same. Even Trish, like, talking to her, like, don't you think you should start, like, moving on a little bit? Like, you were a hero. You bit like a really bad guy. And so, yeah, that was, you know, for this episode, it was all about her, getting her moving again. Like, getting her back into being a detective, because she's not even being a detective at the moment. And yeah, just kind of getting her motivated and going. She does pick up kind of a case. Like, she says no to doing this case. Like, this mother and daughter come to her office, and, you know, the mother really wants her to find her husband who's been missing, but she just thinks she's cheating on her, so she sort of passes it off. But there's a phone call that tells her not to go after her, so of course she's got to go after him, I should say. And that kind of sets her off on that lead that will eventually lead her to the others. And she finds a apartment full of C4, and yeah, it's good to see Jessica Jones again, because, you know, we haven't seen her for a while. You know, if you think about it, it's been, a couple of years since Jessica Jones? So it's nice to see her back into the mix again and, you know, advance her story a little bit. So that'd be good. That'd be good. And it'll be interesting to see her when she meets back up with Luke as well. So that's going to be an interesting reunion. And then obviously we got to see the big bad lady, I guess, who's been played by Sigourney Weaver. You know, she's got some health problems, which I think expedites the plan. You know, and you see her with Madame Gao, and, like, you can tell Madame Gao, like, she doesn't want to piss her off. Like, when she tells Madame Gao to do something, she does it. And Madame Gao's not too afraid of, like, she's not scared of pretty much anyone. You know, she's faced down Daredevil and, you know, the Iron Fist and all that, and she's never really broken a sweat. She has tremendous respect for Alexandra, so it's gonna be interesting to see where they go with this character and how Sigourney Weaver takes her, because Sigourney Weaver is a freaking awesome actress. So I have all the faith that she's gonna put on an excellent performance and give us a really cool bad guy. I think that's gonna be the big thing. Like, can we have a really good bad guy? Because really, like, 3 out of the 4 have had good bad guys. So hopefully they keep going with that, you know, in a good sense, you know, giving us some really good bad guys. And obviously that led into the big finale of the episode, which was just Manhattan kind of having a giant earthquake, but I think it was explosions and giant cracks and stuff, and cars flying and bouncing everywhere. It was like natural disaster type stuff, and that's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy. So the next episode, called Mean Right Hook, I'm looking forward to it. I'll have a review out right after I watch it, right after I, you know, edit all this together, obviously. Boom, and then, you know, we'll keep going with them. I think I got a long night ahead of me. Of editing and watching and stuff, but I don't mind. It's gonna be good. I'm excited. it was a good first episode. It was a good one, to get us into it. See, like, all the characters coming together, and even all their side characters, like Foggy and all that. Like, Foggy was Luke Cage's lawyer. Obviously he's not with Matt anymore, but, all these little characters meshing all together. It's what Marvel does. It's what they do, and they do it very well. They do it awesomely. So I'm looking forward to it. I want to see these guys meet. Hopefully that'll be in the next one. I think that'll be in the next one. But yeah. All right, guys. Next episode will be up soon, and I'll catch us later. Peace. Bye.